Next up, we have Tron here. Okay, TRX. Had this drawn out a few days ago. Was going to see if it broke this area and retest it, but it did not. It actually just broke below, and now it's breaking below this main zone as we speak. So definitely no buy here, even though it is above this moving average, so it is bullish. But yeah, there's no buy here because it broke those major zones and is breaking this major zone. But I drew this out, but it just didn't happen. So price is actually way below this 4-hour moving average now, so I would actually consider this quite a bit more bearish than I would have before. So delete this because that zone's invalid. And now we're just really working with this main zone here. And originally it was holding and then kind of pushed it lower and lower, and now it's breaking it. So yeah, this zone's pretty much toast, I think, now. So I might be actually looking for a short position on this, just because this zone was so significant and it seems to be busting. So this 4-hour candle going to close in 2 hours from now. So yeah, and because if you look at this 4-hour, price is way below this moving average, absolutely creating huge new lows. So okay, so probably consider a short position on this now. We're gonna have to switch some things up. If this is the, do I have these markers? So you're actually gonna have to move these all the way down, and we're gonna consider a short position for the rest of the month, as long as this still breaks. I mean, it's got 10 hours left, so if this completely rejects, then I'll switch this up. But as far as we know right now, these are kind of our parameters. So it's about 7, 8, 6. Does that work? That's roughly that's this candle here. That's roughly our high. And then our low, which, I mean, I don't even know why I'd put this in, because like the range on these are just nuts. So I'm not even going to consider an actual monthly range for this, because I don't think it's relevant. So yeah, if price breaks this area, this is huge, you're probably going right back to this massive area here, right above 7,000. So here, I'm going to mark that out because that is important. 0.07. Yeah, right on the top. You can see how much these zones just respect whole prices. So that's going to be our target for sure. Now we just got to figure out where like an entry is going to be. Yeah, let price break this zone, and then I'd probably just say a retest of this zone, to be honest. We will clean this up a little bit. We can delete this from here actually, and then yeah, basically what you're going to do is just let this candle close. I'd actually just move this right across here. Let this candle close however it closes. As long as if it closes anything like it is now, then I mean that's a great sign, and then you just got to wait for a retest. We need some sort of pullback into this zone or somewhere close to this zone, because I don't want to just jump on this right away. I mean, depending on how this 4-hour candle closes, like if it closed like this, then you probably could just jump on this sell right away, because the momentum is there. I mean, it's broken new lows, it's broken this zone. So like, yes, you might, if you were to sell it, let's say it's 2 hours from now and this candle closes like this and you jump on the sell position right away, yes, it might pull back, but probably only to somewhere in this area, so that's not really a big deal. And then it'll make its way down most likely, so you wouldn't really have to wait for a retest, but I just like to. It's just good practice. But sometimes you miss entries that way, so it's up to you. It's kind of it's good sometimes when it works, and it sucks sometimes when it doesn't. So yeah, but this is huge, just price breaking this area here. I'm looking for this short position on TRX, which is against the daily moving average, which I'm not a fan of, but I just see, like, from this area here, it's just been straight down, and then it had a lot of time to break this zone. Like you can see, this is the first as of right here, this is the first candle of August. So this actually came down to the zone, rejected, pulled up, and closed like this the next day. Huge bearish engulfing candles. That's August 2nd. So this is to the first 2 weeks of August. It's done nothing. It hasn't went any higher. So it's just been touching the zone, and then decides to break it. So that tells me that August we are bear. So, and it wants to be sold. So we're going to sell it. So looking at, this is going to be your entry. If price breaks and holds this area, I would wait for a 4-hour candle close. Price is dramatically down on this 1 hour as well, though. So, I mean, you could even wait for, well, it'll probably line up the same. So if you waited for any sort of pullback into this area, even on the 1 hour time frame would be fine. And as long as it starts rejecting this area again, then, I mean, you're good for that short entry. So keep your stops above. I would even keep them above these wicks just to be on the safe side, which is quite a bit of a big stop. But I do think this is within range for the month as well. So it's only, I think it's only about a cent, and this does move roughly 0.017. Yeah. So I think that is within range for sure. So that's my take on Tron. I think it's a good short if you let this 4-hour candle close right here below this zone. Maybe wait for a retest, maybe don't. It's up to you. And then, as long as this candle closes full like this below this zone, if it pulls back at all, then no, I'd be hesitant. But if it closes like this, then I think you're good to go. And the biggest factor is just that, this is the opening of the month here. We'll actually move this right over. So like this is the opening of the month, and it has not went higher. It just broke down right away and then broke this zone now. It had 2 weeks to go higher, and it decided it doesn't want to. So now we got 2 weeks to sell this, I think. So this is kind of my position for the next 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of the month. And shorting it from this 0.759 level kind of thing. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, kind of something like that, and then just shooting it all the way down to 0.07. I think is a good bet. So that is TRX. That is Tron.